All right, I got to bring Dominick Fariello in here.
Yes.
He is our legal counsel. Let's go get him. Let's get to the phone lines. Phone lines are wide open. There's one person on hold for Dom. If you got a question, 727-579-1025 or 800-771-1025. Phone lines are never this open, and they never fail to fill up. So if you want to get through now. And there he is, making his way into the studio right now. His lovely pink polo shirt, which tells me that there's no court today.
No court today.
Dominick Fariello, Esquire.
Renovations today. The office is getting new paint inside.
Oh,
nice.
Pumpkins is getting the staff all new carpet, new furniture for the staff. So some of the computers are working, some aren't. We're a little rehabbing right now.
I sent over some paint because we were talking the other day about you were doing the stuff. So it's from China and it has extra lead.
That's what I like about you. You're always looking out.
Should be good.
Yeah, that's why I got my policy on that building amped up. While the phone lines are loading up, Mike, got a public service announcement, and maybe something the show might be interested in. Do you fellas here, and Carmen's on in, do you guys have your concealed weapons permit?
Indeed.
Yeah. Does everybody have one?
I do not know.
Well, Galvin, the Spanish just stepped out, and then Carmen stepped out. But if you guys want, you can go to Capitol Pawn, Joe Cacciatore's shop,
right.
the pawn shop, and you just obviously it's you guys. He's going to take care of you, but you can go there. They've got courses to get your concealed weapons permit.
Oh, really?
Joe just now got a license, and now he deals in weapons, so you can purchase guns and shotguns, all variety of different ammunition, and for the ladies and guys too, not to be discriminatory, there are self-defense classes now at the pawn shop on 2525 East Bush Boulevard. How about that, Mike?
I love the way you said he's got a. You can go and you can learn to shoot.
You can go.
You can buy the weapons.
You can learn self-defense. You can get a concealed weapons permit, so you lawfully can carry a concealed weapon, but also be properly trained on how to handle, fire, disarm, clean, load a weapon. And then obviously if you want to purchase now a weapon, I mean, it's a one-stop shop. It's great. They got wonderful folks there that are teaching law enforcement, ex-law enforcement. I mean, it's a great opportunity. Plus, with everything going on in the country right now, you do have a Second Amendment right, and you also remember now, a Second Amendment right does not include the concealed weapons permit. That's a special license. So a lot of people confuse the two when I answer questions on the show or my show.
Wait, what was that? Say that again?
A Second Amendment is different than a concealed weapons permit.
Oh,
So
right.
The Second Amendment right.
You can have
It's right
a
to
gun.
bear arms.
Right.
Then, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of people, because why can't I get my concealed weapons permit? I have a Second Amendment right to bear arms. I said, well, those are two separate things. You're lumping them in together. But if you go to this training course, you can learn all that information. And if you want the number, 813-933-5555, easy number to remember. Of course, Capitol Pawn. And, and also Joe and I are shooting in the Sheriff's Sporting Clays event coming up in October.
I saw that.
So we are, I formed a team. Joe and I are shooting with two other judges, and we're going to. I want to take the crown again. I should have won 2 years ago. That is under contestment and dispute by my office.
I always go out there, and on the first stand, I shoot all the clays, and I think I might be ready for the Olympics. I don't hit another one.
Yeah, it isn't. You got all the different stands, and the I have a hard time at the rabbits, which of course is the clays,
and that's what I'm actually good at.
I have to go out there and train, but the rabbits throw me off a little bit. Anything in the air I can blow out of the sky, but it's that stuff on the ground that
difficult.
You just not, when it eats you growing up. I know, in the air. I know stuff on the ground's a little different, but
I'm gonna tell you that's a great time, and it's a great place to network. There's a ton of people out there, and if you're a fan of guns, that's a place to see gun manufacturers and gun stores. And I know Shooter's World is out there.
Yeah.
I know my buddy Tom from Central Firearms is out there. So there's always some great gun people to see. So.
And the sheriff is going to be on my show the 25th of September, which is the last Wednesday in September, about 2 weeks before this event.
Good luck. Try not to look into his dreamy eyes and fall in love with him.
Are you talking about Sheriff Chronister or Sheriff Nacco? I get them confused when you talk
I'm a
about
Hillsborough County guy.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
I still admire and respect and acknowledge the sexiness of Sheriff Nacco, but I'm a CC guy now.
I just want to double check because you said the same thing about Chris. I just wasn't sure if talking about Chad.
I mean, I don't find Gautieri to be that attractive. It's not all sheriffs. It's not all
He's great.
sheriffs.
He's great too. He's been on the show.
I'm just
He's
saying,
not
not sexy.
But he's also a lawyer. That's a little different. That's a little twist on
knocks him
things.
down a couple.
No.
As far as sexiness goes. All right,
Thanks, Mike.
Just kidding.
I know
You're
you
the
are.
sexiest lawyer I know. Let's get right to the phone calls. Let's go to Jason. Jason, good morning. You are the first call for Ask the Dom. What's up, buddy?
Morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, so this happened in Pinellas County. So a group of guys driving home from Tampa one night. The driver blows through a red light. We get pulled over. Allegedly, somebody throws something out the window. The police officer did not see it, but the police officer had a Ranger riding with him. So the Ranger goes back and picks it up. Nobody fesses to it. We all get arrested for possession of a controlled substance felony. Go to jail, get bonded out. Never see a judge, and hear nothing else afterwards. And it's still on my record as a felony.
Well, the charge of the arrest is what you're talking about that's on your record. So you were arrested for possession of controlled substance. Now, in the context of which you just explained, you're not in actual possession of the controlled substance. It's what's called constructive possession because nobody fessed up to it. If it was discarded, obviously that has to be sent off to FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement labs, in order to be analyzed to figure out what type of controlled substance is it. Is it illegal? It may not be illegal if someone has a prescription for it. So there's a lot of research, discovery, if you will, that has to go along with this. So, what happens at this point is you have to follow up really with the clerk's office to see when the matter is set for a docket, in the sense that an arraignment, your first scheduled court appearance.
Now, this has been a couple of years ago, so something should have happened by now.
Well, I agree. That doesn't make any sense. If you had a charge and you would have had an arraignment, then you would have had they call it pretrial hearings in Pinellas. In Hillsborough County, they're called disposition dates. They both mean the same thing. It's just status hearings. So, did you ever hire an attorney?
No.
Well, I
never was arranged, and it just shows no information filed. But on my record, it shows that I was arrested for a felony.
Well, okay, all right. So what happens is that they no-filed the charge, but the arrest record is still there. So the answer to your question now is you need to call the office and talk to Pam, AP Investigations, because you want to have the arrest removed from your record. So you can have 20 arrests and never be convicted of anything. So you just want the arrest record removed. They no-filed it, which means they didn't move forward with the formal charges, probably based on the foundational lack of evidence under a constructive possession issue, which is 4 elements they have to prove. There you go. AP Investigations answer your question.
All right, there you go. 813-251-5550.
Woo, out of the gate on fire.
Chris, good morning. You're on with Ask the Dom. What's up, Chris?
Hey, I'm going through a divorce,
Good for
and
you.
Yes, congratulations.
I know you're jealous, Mike.
Congratulations.
I know you're jealous, Mike.
I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happily married, but you're free now.
I'm getting there. So my question is, I currently work in an environment where I can receive overtime, but it's not guaranteed. So when we're calculating child support, is overtime definitely like something that's factored in there, or do they have to just go by my base?
I would imagine, right? They probably go by his base or his last year's tax returns.
Yeah, usually.
Well, my last 2 years' tax returns are going to show some overtime, but that's not guaranteed if we're adequately staffed. I mean, that could go away quickly.
So I think your lawyer probably could make a good case for that and say, hey, this guy made $100,000 last year, but the truth is his base salary is only $75,000. He worked overtime. That's not guaranteed for this year. What do you think? I'm not a lawyer. I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, what I think the argument should be is you want to put yourself in a best position to negotiate. So what happens is you'd have to submit to them what your salary is. Hey, look, I get a salary per year of X number of dollars, or I get paid hourly X number of dollars per hour, and this is the normal hours that I work. Now, if overtime is optional, which means that, hey, 1 month you decide you want to work more, or 1 month they ask you to work more, there's no way. It's speculative. There's no way to know if that's going to happen, and to the extent that it does. Because here's the problem you put yourself in. Let's say that you calculate, I'm going to do, 6 months of overtime, and you're going to factor that into the family court, disposition for the divorce. Well, let's say you only do 1 month of overtime. Well, now you've overpaid for 5 months in this hypothetical. So I think that and again, do you have a family law attorney?
I'm working on that part right now.
Well, you got to continue working, and you'll do that through my website for Jason Valkenburg. That's that. We're going to work yourself right to AskTheDom.com, and you're going to get Jason Valkenburg.
Polk County?
Jason goes all over the state. I mean, he doesn't go. I mean, I always go. He'll go tip to tip if you pay him enough. So you just call Jason. He'll tell you if he can take care of it for you. But I would start with what it is that you make that's guaranteed. Everything above that, if the other lawyer for the other side questions it, or if the court wants to know, and then sometimes there's formulas for these things you got to fill in, and then like Mike suggested, they might request 2 or 3 years of prior taxes in payroll.
Well, my last 2 years have been like plenty of overtime, but they're getting to the point where we're staffed properly, and so it's not a guaranteed thing.
Well, they'll average it, sir. So they'll take 2 or 3 years, and then they'll average that, so that way it balances out in the wash. That's how that'll happen. But call Jason. Go to my website, AskTheDom.com. Say, hey, I talked to you on Mike's show, and I'll give you Jason's information.
All right, buddy. Good luck to you. Thank you.
There he is.
Let's go to Karen. Karen, you're on Ask the Dom. What do you got, Karen?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I, last year in April, was diagnosed with basal cell cancer, and it was on my face. So I went to the surgeon who was, like, all juiced up on Monster drink and saying things like, I should send you to a plastic surgeon. No, I'm going to take care of it. Oh, it should be a plastic surgeon. No, I should take care of it. Well, in the end, I ended up with this giant, massive hole in my face. Had to go to another doctor. He spent almost a year reconstructing this. Do I have any recourse against this first doctor? I mean, seriously, I'd like to put him out of business, but... Well,
the answer is potentially yes. You know, if the doctor that ultimately did the procedure that shouldn't have, if you should have seen a board-certified plastic surgeon instead, then the question becomes, did that doctor deviate from the standard of care in the medical profession for which they are licensed? And that is the standard that forms any basis for medical malpractice or medical negligence claim. You are within the statutory period if you're within the 2 years. So that's the first thing. I think when did this happen?
It was April of last year.
Okay, so you're just past the 1 year mark. So I would get working on this because you're getting close. And then what you'll do is Shafia Singha, who is going to be a guest on tomorrow night's show with her husband David. The Singha Law Group is a sponsor of my show. She handles medical malpractice claims, and I can provide you her information through my website. Or if you want to listen to tomorrow night's show, you can do that. But yes, you do have potentially a claim, but we need to jump on it ASAP.
Okay, great. Thank you. I will contact you after.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. So for folks listening, predominantly it's 2 years. There's also a little caveat, Mike, from the date and time in which you would have known. Some people don't know until months after.
Right.
So then it could technically run a little later. But the standard of care is if that was breached by your medical professional, another medical professional must testify to that accord, and then that is the evidence that you need to justify whether or not medical malpractice occurred in the state of Florida.
I do want to point out that she'd be the second person on our show known as Cancer Face. Cancer.
I didn't know there was a first.
Before you, we had a guy named Cancer Face who used to call the show all the time.
Oh, okay.
And we said we would give him tickets for concerts that were months down the road. And if he lived to that concert... No.
We were trying to help.
Yeah, if he lived to that concert, then we'd give him tickets to the next concert. And he had to live to that concert.
Is he still alive?
Cancer Face has passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We had a nice benefit for him.
We did.
We had a benefit
Raised
poker
money for his
tournament. We
wife.
raised money for his wife.
Well, I don't. How long ago was all of this? I don't remember this.
2008, maybe.
Oh, I think.
Oh, that was
maybe
before.
even
Yeah,
earlier
it
than
was
that,
before me. I didn't come until 09. Okay, all right. 'Cause I don't know any of this. I felt bad. I didn't know what you're talking
We
about.
played poker at the dog track. We had a nice Saturday morning poker tournament.
This predated me. I did not know that story.
You're probably
Wow.
still in law school.
My goodness.
Let's go to Josh. Josh has got a question about the weed. What's up, Josh?
Hey, good morning, guys. Just a quick question. I'm looking at getting my medical marijuana license, but am I protected at my job?
That depends on your job.
Yeah.
I mean, when you say, "Am I protected?"
It's not a federal job.
Well, it depends on your job. When you say if I'm protected, I'm not your employer. So you got to look at the context of what type of job do you do?
Just a trades job.
All right. Well, here's the issue.
Operating machinery?
No.
All right.
Well, look, any employer is going to have a problem with anybody that's under the influence to some extent. So if you have, take the context right now. Let's say you have a prescription for opioids and you lawfully take your medication, but you go to work, but you're under the influence. Now, you have a condition. All right, fine. You have a prescription to address the condition, fine. But does that impair or impede your ability to perform the duties and tasks assigned to you in your employment? I don't know. Only your employer knows. I mean, so if you show up and you're on opioids and you don't do a good job, you're probably not going to stay there very long. The same logic would apply if you show up and you have marijuana, or you smell like marijuana, or you're under the influence of marijuana. So it's the same logic there. No one's saying that they don't want you to feel good, and no one's saying that, they don't want you to get better from whatever the reason you have medical marijuana, but you can't force an employer to have someone that's under the influence, lawfully, mind you, but not performing the job in which they were hired to do well, if that happens. So your question is up to your employer, not me.
You need to get off the weed, sir. You're too slow.
He's starting now. He's really calm.
Slow to respond.
Yeah, man, that's good, Dom.
Jesus Christ.
He's very chill this morning.
Kirk, good morning. You're on the Mike Calta show. This should be good. Hi, Kirk.
Hey, how you doing, man? Thanks for the show. It's a good show.
Thank you.
My sister went to jail, and I had to move all of her stuff out of her house for her, and I can't find the title to her car. Can I legally go apply for a lost title in my name and sell her car for her so she's got some money when she gets out?
I don't think you can do that. If she's in jail, you can probably have all of that done. You can send her legal mail in jail.
Oh.
You can't send legal mail. A lawyer will send legal mail. So you can have a lawyer do it, or you can just regular mail her stuff in jail. It just won't be marked legal mail, excuse me. But you can have... I would have
to get a form and send it from the DMV and then send it to her in jail.
Correct. And then there's notaries and folks that can witness her signed documents, and then she'll just mail it either back to you or to the instructions there to the state in reference to get a title reissued. Just because she's incarcerated doesn't mean she can't get things done. If she has a lawyer, you can go through the lawyer, and the lawyer can send her legal mail, which is stamped legal mail coming from an attorney, or you can just mail her the information, and then she can send it back. So you can still communicate with her, although she's incarcerated. Yeah, but I don't think you're going to be able to do what you are seeking to do on your own because you do not have the legal authority in which to do it.
Yeah. In my yard, if code enforcement comes,
Well,
it goes to the junkyard, I guess.
Well, let's start moving on it quickly then. All right, before that happens. Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Thanks, man.
You're very welcome.
Hey, what's your sister in the clink for?
Her fourth DUI, and then she violated the probation by drinking. So
and that's going to be a fourth DUI is a felony. A third, by the way, could be a felony if the state upcharges it. And then a violation of probation, she's looking at, what they call that in Georgia, all day long. That's where she's going to be.
Oh, Lordy.
All right, thank you, sir. This is Patricia. You're on with Ask the Dom.
Good morning, Mike, and good morning, Dom.
Hey, cutie.
Dom, can I just tell you?
You can tell me anything.
Crazy Patty's got a really interesting question. No BS this time.
You want to know something that's crazy? I would say maybe 30% of the time she'll call in and she's got a really good legal question.
Well, she's got one here. Go ahead, Patty.
Go ahead, sweetheart.
Okay. In May of this year, I got a ticket for reckless driving. The woman who gave the ticket was a policeman, and she committed suicide. I found out in the newspaper, and she committed suicide. Now, my driver's license is on hold. They sent me 2 letters for my internist and my psychiatrist, and I gave it to them. But they're so slow. And meanwhile, I want to come to Mike's birthday and everything, and I can't drive.
Well, what county was the ticket issued in?
Pasco.
Pasco, yeah.
All right, Pasco. Now, Patty, let me ask you this very clearly. Did they give you a ticket for reckless driving or careless driving? There's a difference. They're they sound similar.
Yeah, I would say 90%. I think it was reckless driving,
Okay,
but
so-
I could find out.
Yeah, well, you have to look at it because here's the thing. Reckless driving is a criminal offense, a misdemeanor. A careless driving is a civil infraction. So the difference is if you look at the ticket, if the ticket says 316.192, that is reckless.
316.912.
Bingo.
There you go. So that's
Reckless
a reckless.
driving.
Now, for folks listening, well, it's careless driving. Well, careless driving is 316.1925. I mean, everybody knows that.
Of course.
So, so what you need now is, did you hire Mr. Sansoni, Dead Air Sansoni, to help you in Pasco County?
Should I?
Yes. the answer is yes. And then Bill knows the folks. Bill handles Pasco County. He knows the folks up there. The judges now call him Dead Air Sansoni, apparently. He's getting so well known up there. Just call the office, talk to Pam. She'll get you in touch with Bill, and we'll help you out, because what we can do is we can file a contestment of the ticket, which is the criminal offense. If the officer has passed away, which I'm sad to hear that has happened, then there might be a foundational issue that the state cannot bring forth the case for lack of evidence, meaning the officer is no longer with us. So, but contact the office and let's get Bill on it to file the proper documents, motions, and accordingly with the court in Pasco. There you go.
All right.
Problem solved, Patty.
And
I'm so sorry that she died.
Well, it's
don't make it worse by talking about her.
Okay.
Now, let's also remind everybody that if you want to really do me a favor, and that is to help these loving couple of Patty and what's her name, Galvin. They are in the Creative Loafing's Best of the Bay, nominated for Couple of the Year. Please take the time to go vote for them. Patty and Galvin, her sweet Galvin.
To him, I give my love to him in every night and day.
That's my lady.
I love him, need him, trust him, believe him forever and evermore. When you find someone to love and to adore, take a bubble bath with him.
Mm-hmm.
Bring me no flowers, no sweets, no peanut butter or
No
coffee
sweets.
too. Veni Vidi Vici, my Tampa Bay love,
Oh,
Galvin.
Nobody else on that nominee list has that kind of love for each other.
It sounds as if we were in church. Didn't
know
it
what?
sound like it
Well,
was
she's
a
an
church
angel.
sermon,
She's
and then
an
she was
angel.
kind of singing and
She's
then
got an
started
Veni
talking?
Vidi Vici, my Tampa Bay love, Galvin.
She's got an angel's voice.
If she would have ended it, Mike, with Dominus Hibiscus,
Oh.
that would have sealed the deal.
Oh man.
I'm just telling
you say it 3 times, Jesus appears like Beetlejuice. Let's grab a couple more phone calls. Let's go to Ashley. No, I'm sorry. This is Kyle. Kyle, hold on. Ashley, there you go. Hi, Ashley.
Hey, good morning.
All right, what do you got for Ask Dom? I see you want to hire a private investigator.
Yes, so we have a private attorney. This matter is custody. My husband's ex-wife is taking us back to court for custody. She wants full custody right now. We have 50-50. Our attorney advised us to get a PI in Texas to prove that she's in Texas every weekend. He wants a picture of the truck, and he wants a statement by the PI. We have family in that area. Instead of hiring a PI, he wants, $500 to $1,000. So retainer, can we have family or friends take the picture and notarize a document saying that yes, they saw this vehicle in Texas?
You want to have friends of the family take pictures?
And is it possible to have that instead of hiring a PI?
I think that's problematic. A private investigator is an independent third party that's retained to do a specific task. And then once that task that they're hired for is obtained, then they may be called to court to testify on what it was they were assigned to do. And in front of a court, they're going to say, listen, I have no affiliation with this family or that family. These folks hired me. I was retained to do a job. This was the job I did. This is where I went. This is what I saw. This is what I recorded. And that, that'll be sworn to under oath. If you go through family, obviously there's going to be bias. There's going to be, loyalty there. It's not an independent company or agency that's professionally assigned to do the task in which you seek. That's why the lawyer recommended a PI. So humbly, don't go your way. Follow your lawyer's instructions.
Okay.
Very good.
All right.
Another satisfied customer, Mike. Tell Spanish he's got to go change the marquee in the front of the building.
All right, let's see. I'm trying to find the good one.
I'm here all day.
Let's go to Gary. Gary, you're on Ask the Dom. What do you got, Gary?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How you doing, sir?
Great. Quick question. I was wondering how I'll go about getting my arrest record from all the way back to even before 18.
So you're not looking to get it expunged. You actually just want a copy of it?
I would like to know what's on my record, yes.
Is that in Florida?
Yes, sir. It's in Pasco and Hillsborough County.
AP Investigations. You just call the office, ask for Pam, and then she can walk you through how it works, and then she can get you all the information you need. That's all you need. Private investigator, AP Investigations. Mike, if you want to give them the number.
813-251-5550.
Boom. There it is.
All right. Thank you very much, guys.
You're welcome.
Hey, what did you get arrested for?
Oh, geez. Before 18 or after 18?
After 18. I need to know your adult decisions.
Okay. So about a little while back, I was arrested for reckless driving, speeding, running a red light, and property damage that was on my own property. I hired a lawyer, and everything was withheld adjudication. And I've been arrested for DUI twice.
That's what I was going to say. You're just drinking a lot?
Well, yeah, of course, yeah. But just saying that,
of course.
I was just wondering if I was on my record,
Oh, yeah, it's on there. All right, we'll give them a call, and they'll help you out and stop drinking and driving.
All right, bye. All right.
And that's one to grow on. All right, let's go. Let's see what we can do here. Let's talk to Kyle. Kyle's got a large sum of money, trying to collect a large sum of money that he loaned to who? Who did you loan it to, Kyle?
So it was my parents who loaned $40,000 to a supposed friend. They were going into some sort of business deal, but nothing was notarized. There was a piece of paper that it says, this person will pay my parents back at this date. And then he basically ghosted him, and eight years later, they still try to contact him every month, and he just doesn't even reply anymore. Is there any legal recourse?
Is he here?
Is he in Florida? Yeah, we know where he is.
Why on earth did mom or dad not contact an attorney after the first 6 months or a year of this jazz going on?
I have no idea, but they I don't know.
You have his phone number?
I have no idea. Yeah, we have his address, his phone number.
If you give me his phone number, I'll call him right now and try to negotiate it.
I don't have it. My parents do. Okay. You gonna go over and kneecap him, Mike?
No, but I would call him and put him on the spot and go, these people are nice enough to lend you money. Why are you ghosting them?
Let me look and see if I have it. That might be fun.
Well, while you're looking, the problem that mom and dad have is it's been 8 years. So it's a contractual agreement, for a loan or a business venture or whatever it was that they were doing. You'd have to look at the terms of the document, which doesn't sound like it's very comprehensive. Unfortunately, even if they did file a lawsuit against this individual in circuit court, because it's an amount over $15,000, there is a potential affirmative defense by this fellow that the statute of limitations is run under a 5-year contractual statute of limitations. The only way potentially to get around that is if your parents can prove that there was some type of fraud, which then would give you an extension of the statute under what's called the statute of repros, so that there was some type of fraud or fraud in the inducement that may extend the 5 years. But I don't know if that extension will get us to 8. That might get us to 7. So there's, they definitely need to speak with a contracts lawyer, which I can get them in touch with. But I think potentially they've just waited too darn long with this.
Agreed. I understand that, but I mean they're grown adults as well, so I can't really tell them what to do.
Fair enough.
Okay, now on a side note, you know where the guy lives. Anybody go over there and knock on his door and have a little conversation with him that might got a little violent?
It hasn't gotten to that point yet, but it's in the works.
Well, be careful with that, but I definitely would have done that by now.
Or something more than what they've done. I mean, definitely law enforcement, not law enforcement. This is a civil matter. It would be definitely a lawyer to contact.
I'm talking about wait till the guy goes to throw his garbage at night and walk up behind him and put a potato sack over his head and go, "You better have this goddamn money in a week or we're going to kill you." That's what I'm talking about.
This is what the part of the show that makes me nervous when the Count of Justice comes out. That's not necessarily in accordance with Florida law.
Done? You want to get your parents' money back? Get that potato sack, sir. Thank you. Good luck to you. That's the only way it's going to work. These guys, they don't have any paperwork. They don't have anything that binds the guy to the thing. They were trying to be nice friends, and they got screwed. Nice people get screwed in the end. So what you do is you wait till Tuesday or Thursday night, most likely Thursday, and the guy's throwing his garbage at night. You hide out in the bushes till you hear the wheels. Then you run up behind him with a potato sack. You put it on there. You kick him in the back of the leg, and then you push his face into the ground and go, "You owe my parents $40,000. Consider this 7 days, 7-day warning. The next time won't be so nice." And then you rub his face into the ground, and then you leave.
This is why I don't sleep at night. I'm worried about all of you guys here at the radio station.
That's why nobody owes me money, is what it is.
That's probably another reason.
Thank you. Let's go to Larry. Good morning, Larry.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
You're on with Ask the Dom. What do you got, sir?
I have a question. I got a divorce years ago, 1996, and part of the settlement was I did what's called a quadro, which my ex was entitled to a percentage of my retirement. I was under the understanding that if she got married, that would go away kind of like alimony. But my divorce decree does not state that. Can that be modified or changed?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they were doing in '96. That's an interesting dynamic. I mean, you're talking about over 20 years ago now. All right, so the answer is that you can always file for a modification. I don't necessarily know if it's going to work depending on the way the agreement was worded and what the laws were back then. But I think that it certainly begs the question for Jason Valkenburg to take a look at the divorce decree that you guys executed. Send that over to him. He's not going to charge you to look at it and see maybe if there's something that he can do with the current law. Again, you can go to AskTheDom.com for that. But that's certainly an interesting question. Yes, you can always file for a modification request. It doesn't automatically mean it's going to be successful, but you can do it.
Okay, appreciate that. I have one more question tied to this.
Go ahead.
She lives in a different state from the divorce as well as I do. Do I get a local attorney from where the divorce was filed, or do I get a local attorney here, or do I get a local attorney where she's at?
All right. Well, this is almost like now a law school a question. Or
I was going to say this is a good question.
This is actually a question you find on a bar.
My answer would be B. You got to get a lawyer in the area where the divorce was filed. That's my answer as a student of law.
Well, where was the divorce filed?
Wisconsin.
Okay. All right.
That's where you need a lawyer.
I don't know a damn thing about Wisconsin law. All right. Where do you live now? Florida?
Florida, absolutely.
You're in Florida. Where is the missus? Or the ex-missus?
Arizona.
Arizona. And then have you been in Florida? Have you been in Florida for 6 years? Or for 6 months?
20 years.
You've been in Florida for 20 years. All right.
Yep.
I think given the circumstances, I would probably go with B. I think Mike is correct. I think that you would hit. Now, you could still contact Jason, and he can kind of give you advice for, in a Florida context. But more likely than not, you're talking about a Wisconsin divorce decree from 1996. You're probably going to need to have some folks licensed there to take a look at it. I don't know if Arizona is going to come into play or Florida, but I would default with B, and I would go contact Jason. And again, you go to my website, AskTheDom.com. We'll give you information. That was a great question.
There you go.
I didn't expect that second one was a sharp right turn on that one.
Listen, there's a lot of people on hold. We're at a full board of phone calls. Somebody getting sued for a car accident. Ooh. Cops showed at your house when I got to take this one. I was going to wrap it up, but I got to take it. Ray, you're on with Ask the Dom. The cops showed up at your house when you threw tea at a kid?
Yeah, man.
Was it iced or cold?
It was iced tea.
Okay.
Did this happen in Boston?
No, it wasn't the Boston Tea Party, man. But it was raining like it for real, though. But here's what happened, man. My daughter, 13-year-old, she's going on 13 on 25 for some reason. And they get a little mouthy, a little lippy, and sometimes they'll push you to the edge, man. And she turned around and she mumbled some stuff under her breath, and man, I just kind of lost it a little bit, and I just kind of did a little shuttle pass of some sweet tea to her. Just maybe she was thirsty, I don't know, man. But I just lost my cool, and I chunked the tea, and cleaned the mess up, apologized for it, and kind of we went on about our way. Well, then our time sharing ended. I dropped the kids off at their mother's and text the mother, hey, give me a call. Let's talk about what happened. Let's talk about her attitude. She's in trouble at school for the same reason. I don't need to keep going on here. And then probably 3 hours after that, I get a knock at the door. The cops are there. So now I have a meeting today with Child Protective Services. I want to go do investigations and all this. I'm like, this has never happened in the past. This has never happened before. And I think it's all because we're going through a divorce right now in a custody battle. So I think that she's just trying to, poke fun at it or something, make a big case over nothing.
When you say she, you're talking about your ex-wife-to-be or your daughter?
Yes, ex-wife-to-be.
Did you text her the circumstances of the altercation in writing?
She won't even respond back to nothing.
That's not what I asked you. Did you text her information? Not whether she responded.
Yes.
When you put in there allegedly what happened?
Yes.
All right, well, there's your first problem. If you're going to if something happens between folks and it's an allegation of an altercation, if you have a conversation with somebody, I always caution folks about putting stuff in writing, whether it's an email or a text. I mean, that stuff can be easily screenshot, printed, given to law enforcement, deemed as an admission down the road. Or if you leave voicemail messages. I mean, I understand you're trying to contact the mother of your child, and listen, she's got a problem and she's got a little bit of an attitude. I get all of that. But when your conduct comes into play in response to her conduct, that's where you then have these nice folks, Department of Children's, Family Services, and then law enforcement, God forbid, they're going to get involved to say, well, there's an underlying issue? I mean, they don't know you from the next guy down the road. They don't know if this is something that, is there abuse going on? Obviously, it doesn't sound like it based on the contents of the facts of the case. But, they don't know that. And, they have to serve the best interest to protect the child, to make sure. Right. So when you put stuff in writing, whatever it is you said in the context of which it's stated, that could potentially be problematic. And now you're sitting down with folks like you're sitting down with. So if you want an attorney to guide you through it, we can get somebody for you, help you out. What county are you in?
Hillsborough.
Okay, yeah. So we're here locally. I just caution folks, if an allegation or altercation occurs, and you're not quite sure, contact the lawyer first. But I would pause before I put anything in a voicemail message, because people call and it's so angry, and they'll leave really threatening, nasty voicemail messages, or they'll send cryptic texts or emails. Usually 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Usually is when it happens. Right. And I just caution folks. Now, I'm not saying that this is you, sir. I'm expanded past your question and kind of talking in generality terms. But I just caution folks, be careful of that. And then worst case,
just along the lines. My bad. Mine was more along the lines of, I can't believe you actually really called the cops. Like, as many times as you called me telling me you just lost your cookies on the kids, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And mine is, I get how they can push you to that sometimes, but the fact of the matter is you didn't put your hands on them, you didn't beat them, like, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
But, our kids are trying sometimes. Bottom line is you have to raise them and you have to keep them in line. They have to learn respect, et cetera, et cetera. Like,
sometimes you need a glass of iced tea to really
to cool the situation down. Exactly. So, what's next? Is she going to call the cops if I was to actually spank my kid? Like, I didn't put no hands. So my thing is, I said whatever helps you in court, I guess, to try to prove that I'm a bad parent, because, like I said, we're going through a divorce right now. Right now we're 50-50. I get my kids 7 days on, 7 days off, and it's coming out to where she's not even really owed child support, and we're breaking even. So now I think she's trying to go a different route and try to take my daughter from me.
May sound unrelated, but it's definitely related. Sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Super sweet, hard to clean up when it dries.
He's legit, man. This guy's legit. Well, sorry, wish you the best. 813-251-5550. If you need a lawyer, you can call the office and they'll get you in touch with Jason Valkenburg. and also Chris Jericho, who is the Country Time Lemonade spokesman in the area.
Is that
yeah? Oh yeah, iced tea lemonade combination. He'll help you out.
Well, that'd be an Arnold Palmer.
Well, I mean, like the company does both. They don't mix them. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, Country Time is strict.
We got come on, you got to have your beverages straight, Mike. I mean, what's going on?
I got to tell you, Dom, Arnold Palmer was a great drink until I had the LeBron. Once I had the LeBron, I never went back.
I can't find it anymore. They don't make it. It didn't take off.
No, they do make it. It's
Arnold Palmer's still around.
Hard to keep in demand.
No, nobody's
you've never had a LeBron.
I have never had.
That's
I know
how fast they go out.
I have never had one.
Such a LeBron fan.
I know.
Doesn't even have any idea what you're talking about.
I cannot lie under oath. Are you not on the oath here?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. No, I
Arnold
just
Palmer around
Ask
forever.
for it by name.
Nobody will know.
Nobody will know.
Dom, thank you.
Mike, awesome as always. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
If you didn't get through today, Dom, and there are a lot of people that didn't, Dom has his show tomorrow night on this very radio station starting at 8 o'clock with Mo and maybe Swiggy will be here. And they will be taking your phone calls, especially about lemonade or iced tea. Both of those things go really well together.
Allegedly.
Seriously, though, if you need the office, 813-251-5550 or asktodom.com. Dom, thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
We shall take a break, and we will be back. I got tickets to give away. We will do that next.
It's the Mike Calta Show.